Hello gamers, it's time for us to commit various war crimes against humanity. Well, maybe humanity, we'll see, because who you attack first in this game is very important. Before you make your decision, it's a good idea to head over to this Race Relations tab, that's a very on-the-nose naming, and click the report button, because one little trick that the game gives you is you can get a report and you can see exactly what technology they have access to. You're going to want to pick somebody that you can easily beat, because as long as you can demolish them as fast as possible, that means that you can quickly assimilate their population and pull ahead in terms of the economy. Now, and these guys do have, it also tells you how many spies are after you, and these guys are spying on me because they are bastards. See, no active spies and no active spies. So I imagine if I send some spies over to these guys, they're going to pull these guys back for defense if I do this. So overall, I think this is going to be a good idea. Maybe only 3, maybe 2. Yeah, we'll stick to 3. So we're going to look at the technology everyone has. I got everything I have. Let's see, when it's highlighted like this, the brighter ones are the ones that they have that you don't. So humanity has battle stations, which are an upgrade to star bases. That does give them some better defensive potential, on top of fighter garrisons and planetary missile bases. So between these technologies, their planets are going to be much more heavily defended compared to what I make capable of, at least before you actually factor in the battleships themselves. If we look at weapons, nothing too crazy here. They've got Merculite missiles, which is the same as me. Neutron blaster, fusion beam. None of that's too impressive. And we look at defenses, and here is where we have a big advantage. They've only got titanium armor. Class 1 shields are also pretty terrible. So if I go into battle with these guys, my ships have, just from Zortrium armor alone, that's 4 times the durability. But then you factor in reinforced hull, now we're up to 8 times the durability. So while our weapons are arguably on par, although realistically ours are better because I've gone further down the chemistry tree, which means that my missiles are miniaturized a lot more. So it can actually fit more missiles onto my ships. So realistically speaking, I have a small advantage in terms of offense and a massive advantage in terms of defense. But that's just humanity. Let's have a look at some of the other guys I could attack. Let's see, they have reinforced hull. Oh wait, did humanity also have reinforced hull? I actually didn't notice. I don't think so. Yeah, it looks like I have reinforced hull. It looks like these guys have reinforced hull, but humanity doesn't. So these guys have a bit more durability, at least on the hull, but again, they only have titanium armor and nothing better. If we look at their weapons, they have the same weapons as humanity by the looks of it, more or less. But defense, they're still using basic star bases, and it looks like they don't actually have any military they don't have missile bases, they don't have fighter bases. And they are closer to me, and they are spying on me. So I think I'm actually going to go after them, although I'll have a look at you guys first. Got better engines, okay. Still titanium armor. Yeah, everyone's on that titanium armor. We have moved past that. Once again, looking similar weaponry, although they don't have any good missiles. They're just stuck on... Actually, they've got worse weaponry. They don't even have neutron blasters. So on top of having... Yeah, these guys actually look like they're extremely vulnerable. They don't have... They have the worst military. But they're also in an awkward spot where my warships can't quite reach them. Not without extended fuel tanks, and that would mean I wouldn't be able to bring troop transports over, which kind of defeats the whole point of attacking them in the first place. On the other hand, thanks to this little outpost that I built, I do actually have enough range to reach these places, and then once I capture this, I'll be able to reach here, and then that will give me extra range to reach their home worlds down here. So I think there's a couple things I want to do. At some point I want to colonize this planet just to prevent humanity from coming through the wormhole and colonizing it. Alright, by taking hold of this system, I prevent them from launch. Like, this acts as a choke point, essentially. Because if they manage to colonize here, then they can start attacking any of my colonies. But if I take this, then they have to come through the wormhole and attack here. So they're acting as a easily defensible choke point against humanity. Tai Lopez over here is going to be... Right now it's more or less the choke point against the silicoids, because this is the only place that they can attack. Which unfortunately means I do have to leave one of my Ghostbusters out here. As much as I'd like to have both of them attacking the Mechlons, I do have to leave one of them here because I can't... This planet is far too valuable to leave undefended. So this acts as a choke point for them. This is going to act as the choke point for them. But when it comes to the Mechlar, they could potentially attack multiple different colonies. And I don't think there's an easy fix to that other than just wiping them out. So I think from a security standpoint, they should be my first target. That is what looks like the plan right now. So we've got a little extra food. I'm going to move you over to research. I am also going to be over my command point limit very soon. I might have to decommission the scout, although there's a lot of places it can reach, so yeah, there's probably no point in decommissioning it when it's going to be busy. There's a lot of places I got to scout out, get some intel on all these stars. Yeah, I think that's my next move, is to attack these guys. That does mean I'm going to have to go over my command point limit to pull this off, but we've got plenty of finances to actually afford that. The important thing is to make it quick and make it efficient. So I am building a Wasp right now. I think with only titanium armor, one of these things should be able to take out a starbase. Right, as soon as they get Zortrium armor, they get a lot more difficult to deal with, because specifically, Mechlar being cybernetic, they repair their ships every turn in combat. That's one of the traits that it gives them. So if they actually have decent armor, then that repair speed makes them a bit painful to actually try and kill. But as long as they've only got titanium armor, we should just be able to one-shot them and not have to worry about the repairing at all. Which means now would be a good time to strike. So that means I need to quickly... First of all, having a destroyer is like because I've only got the 2 warships. One of them is going to be defending this system. One of them is going to be going on offense. But then I need something else to actually, potentially, fend off any invaders that try to blockade my systems over here. And that's what this Wasp is going to be for. And then after that, I need to start pumping out transports. Which colony is most suited for this? That's the question. Where do I want to be building the transports? This planet obviously is just going to be dedicated to housing, to try and make as many people as possible. My homeworld is mostly busy with research and stockpiling. Speaking of, I would like to use some of that stockpile to get more freighters, because we're using most of them currently just to transport colonists. So that doesn't leave much options. Tai Lopez is still getting off the ground. If we want to do research, then that's best done at the homeworld. This place is housing, so it really is just this place that can build the transports. In order to do that, first you need a marine barracks. Yeah, let's buy some extra production to finish this off quickly. And in fact, let's move over a bunch of these guys to build this fast. Don't want to go all in on it. No, I think we'll leave a few scientists over here. We don't need to go all the way in on it. Hold on, let me just check. How much is a transport? It's 100? So getting this to 50, I think, would actually be fine. Because that means that we produce 50, and then spend credits to build the rest of it, which then will let us pump out a transport every turn. Whereas going up to 60 isn't really saving us that much. Yeah, I'll stick at 53. That's good. Okay. I like this. This is a plan. And it's a good plan. Yeah, finish that automated factory right away. Now, I guess the question is, what quality is Yadith? Because if it's low quality, I might just want to bomb it. Now, realistically speaking, if you're trying to optimize, you would just take over everything, because colony ships are expensive, and so if they do all the work of colonizing a place, you might as well take it from them. But if the planet's relatively low quality, it's not going to contribute too much to your economy, and just for the sake of saving yourself a little bit of micromanagement in the late game, it can be a little better just to kill them off. It's kind of funny how that came around with Stellaris, because in Stellaris you just wipe out millions and millions of people to save lag. But in this game, it's not because of lag, it's because micromanaging gets so tedious. It's, you know, history doesn't repeat itself, but it does often rhyme. It's 4-turn. I love how it's named Nam. Back in the war in Nam. Yeah, I think I want to go here. I'm going to go right away. Alright. The destroyer is active. I guess I could head over to Nam to potentially blockade them, or at the very least scout out their system. Let's do that. So the Marine Barracks is about to finish instantly. Okay, turn. Yep, now we can start building transports. And we're going to need a lot of them, because our troops are fairly weak. Things are about to get slow, and they're about to get tedious, but that's what we've got to do. +4, and that means we can drop this. Yeah. Things are about to get very slow and tedious because I'm going to have to build I'm going to have to pay for the transports every turn. Alright, so now I can finally see what they have here. At least some of their ships. It'd be nice if I could click on all of them. Oh, look at that. They're massing transports at Yadith. Surely for peaceful purposes, right? Now, these guys were going to strike me first, but they were a little too late. Ain't that a shame? What am I researching right now? Cybersecurity link? That's right, I'm going for Auto Labs. Let's see whether they got 1 frigate, 1 destroyer, 5 transport ships, and a somewhat mediocre planet. It's kind of okay as a housing colony. It's not the worst thing ever. It's not great either. If you can get a gravity generator to counteract heavy gravity, then it's like, you know, maybe it's worth it at that point. Which it does seem like the Mechlars, if I remember correctly, I think they did have gravity generators. But obviously, I'm going to launch a nice, unprovoked attack against them. Yeah, they get to shoot first. That is fine. Now, they didn't... yeah, let's have a look. Scan that. Titanium armor. You can see even their destroyer only has, like, 20 health. And they've got no shields or anything. They've got some basic neutron blasters. But they still got electronic computers. Yeah. Plus 25 beam attack. Their accuracy is going to be pretty poor, even with the battle scanner. And their nuclear missile, like 1 nuclear missile. Ooh. Yeah, no, like you can see they hit my ship, but it did a fraction of its armor damage. So this is technological superiority at its finest. So we're going to launch most of the missiles at the destroyer. We're going to launch 1 missile group at the frigate, and then we're just going to turn around and run. To try and outrun their missiles. Yeah, they're going to run away because they obviously understand that they're screwed. And there we go. 1 colonist, 1 building. Now, I could bombard the planet, and it looks like the weaponry on the ship translates into effective 8 bomb hits. But there's not really any reason to. There's not, like, I think I'm just going to capture this with they have no militia, they have no military on this planet. So I can just send in 1 troop transport and capture it instantly. Yeah, we're going to get the... As much as I want structural analyzer, I think I'm going to have to go for the Auto Lab just to pump out more research. I think that's the path I'm going. Let's do that. Yeah. When you ordered the attack on Mechlar ships, you crossed the line, Chad Star Mackerel. Now it's our turn, and we will not stop until not one moneyfish remains in the sky. Bro's talking about moneyfish in the sky. I think he's tripping a little bit. Alright, cool. As you can see, every turn we're just going to do the same thing with the transports. Like they instantly produce enough production to get halfway there. So then we pay for the rest, and then next turn it'll be half done, so we pay for it. And we just do that every single turn. Okay, so we've got more population here. We can ship them out over here. Yep. Let's see. I'm not quite halfway there. I think we're going to want an atmosphere renewer, because we're starting to see the pollution racking up already. And that's with only 3 guys, we're starting to see a decent amount of pollution. And, I mean, this place goes up to 25 population, so that's going to start hurting. And then I'll worry what to build after that when we get to that point. Okay. Scouts almost reached that system. You are standing guard, that's fine. You are also just kind of sitting here. There's another frigate coming. How long are you going to take? Yeah, you're going to arrive at the same time as this frigate, so I actually need this cruiser to stay here to fend off the enemy frigate. And then there's a destroyer here that is going to fight my destroyer. Okay. Let's get ready for some more combat. Eel? Ah. Yeah, so like medium tier, like high tier planets are generally guarded by more dangerous monsters like dragons, but some of the medium tier planets, like a rich planet with gold deposits, is going to be guarded by a space eel. And the difference is, where a dragon attacks you, the space eel will leave you alone as long as you don't try to do anything here. But you can't colonize until you kill it. So at the very least, it's not going to kill my scout, which is nice. Select combat at Nam. Ah, they've got a destroyer and a frigate and a starbase. I think that's a bit much for my destroyer to take on. Well, maybe. Again, they've only got titanium armor. I might be able to one-shot something. At the very least, I should be able to just demolish the enemy destroyer. Ooh, those are actually getting some decent hits. Yeah, and it's been immobilized too. Hopefully my missiles actually reach before my ship dies. Yeah, so, and you could hear the little scream. That's because they had a leader on that ship and he died. RIP. Yeah, it looks like their starbase, being a starbase, actually has enough firepower that was able to do some significant damage, immobilize my ship, and now it's screwed. But at the very least, we did kill one of their destroyers, and I can easily pump out another destroyer. I can replace my losses pretty quickly. I doubt they can replace their losses. Yeah, unfortunately, it died before the missiles actually reached the enemy frigate. Yeah, once again, it looks like the frigate and destroyer are back. Not exactly sure how that works. You guys ran away. How are you? Okay. And this is one of the downsides to missiles, is a lot of the time the enemy can just leave before they actually reach their target. Yep. Oh, look, that's actually decent. So Mega Wealth means that instead of costing me credits every turn, he's making me credits. Famous means that future leaders are going to cost 60 credits less. And then Diplomat increases your relations with other species. Now, being repulsive, that's not super helpful, but at the very least, it does reduce the chances I'll be attacked by a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to hire this guy. It's an easy grab. It's one of the better ones I'm going to get as a repulsive race. Speaking of, I totally forgot that I just haven't assigned you. You can go over to Tai Lopez. That seems like a good place for you. Alright, now Zur. Let's get you. I mean, really what I need is another Ghostbuster, because this can just stomp on the enemies. You can see the difference in cost to build. 139 versus 547. Even though it's only 50% more command points, going from 2 to 3, It's almost 3 times the production cost, but in exchange, it's using those command points more efficiently. How long would it take? Time to build here 11 versus 4. Yeah, I need to spam these transports, so I think I'm going to go with the 4. I'll wait a turn and then buy that. Alright, and I can move my scout. Let's not forget that. Yeah, there's not really... Like, I could bombard the planet, but there's not really any value in doing that. I hope that your race will last long enough to give my people a little sport. Chad Star Mackerel. Like a cat toying with a mouse, we enjoy playing with our prey before destroying it. Okay. And these guys are kind of edgelords, as you can see. I mean, their whole thing is that they get a lot of bonuses to spying. As a matter of fact, if you go to the info tab, you can see race statistics. There's a more button. And this is kind of important because, so look at humans, for example. By default, they get democracy and charismatic. Those are their default traits. But because we're on the highest difficulty, they get bonus traits for free. So those bonus traits are not fixed. They can be a variety of different options. In this case, they got extra ship defense and extra ship offense, which are, as far as the bonuses go, some of the weakest ones they could have got. That's pretty good for me. So it is worth checking on higher difficulties just to see what they got, because even if you're on like normal difficulty, you could say, humans, I know exactly what they have. On higher difficulties, it's not exactly like that. Similarly, Mechlars, they look pretty normal, but they've got extra food production, extra science, and a unification government. Darlocks, they have... What the? I mean, normally they've got espionage and stealth ships. But now they've also got industrial production. They got tolerant. That's massive. That's huge. That's a big difference. Normally Darlocks kind of suck in terms of their economy, but this makes a massive difference. Downside being they get uncreative to pay for that. But the thing is, the AI already picks... The way that uncreative works is that it strips away the choice from the tech tree. And you just have to... You basically just get a random one instead of choosing which technology you get. But the AI already picks randomly anyway, so from the AI's perspective, uncreative is basically free. While for a player, it's completely neuters you. And they are all the way up here, so they're not that much of a threat. They can probably reach Eventide, but I'm not super worried about that. Like, this place can defend itself, if need be. Speaking of, let's get a colony ship and do that thing that I said, where I wanted to colonize Galapagos. Honestly, maybe I should colonize this too, just because I can. Just because I can. Is there anywhere else that I can just easily colonize? Well, yeah, this place can start building colony bases and grabbing everything in here. And, yeah, I could grab that too, you know, when the war is over. Currently, I've got to dedicate my production here. In which I maybe should mention, there's a difference between a colony ship and a colony base. Colony base is a lot cheaper than a colony ship, but it only colonizes in the same system, whereas a colony ship can go to other systems. That's the big difference between the two. So you send in a colony ship to capture a new system, and then once you've got that colony established, it pumps out colony bases at a faster rate to capture everything else. That's the general idea. So I do have to worry about these guys potentially coming in and attacking Eventide, but I doubt they can reach anything else. And the downside to colonize Galapagos, now I've got 2 places to defend, but they're so close to each other that any warship I put out here is going to easily be able to move between the two. And you can see here, I'm 1 command point over the limit, which ship maintenance costs 0 times 8 plus 10 times 1. Right, so the 8 being the first, as long as you're under the limit, which is currently 8, and then for everyone that goes over the limit, it's 10 BC a turn. But being moneyfish, we can afford that. It's pennies to us, really, at this point. Yeah, I think we'll get a colony base after that. We'll buy this. And then after that colony base, I am going to want a ship to defend. But probably we'll go for another cruiser. We'll go slow on that. Because we're not under any immediate threat, so we don't actually want to finish it unless we have to, like... We're going to just hold on to it, let it build slowly, and then if we see something trying to attack us, then we're going to rush by it in response. That's the idea. You can start to see why turns might take a little bit longer in the late game, because as soon as you get to war, you've got to like micromanage every turn pretty precisely to make sure that you're not leaving any significant gaps in your defense. Turn. Alright, this is a new system. That's pretty good. Large arid. Abundant. Small radiated rich. Ooh, these are good. Ultra rich. Small toxic. See, this is a perfect example of a housing colony. You just get one guy in there. And with ultra rich, that guy can... The housing rate is going to be massive. This is probably... Once I get some buildings down there, like an automated factory and a robo-miner plant, then one guy building housing can pump out like one population every 2 turns. And then there's actually a decent planet in this system. So yeah, this is something that I'm going to want to take. But then again, it is pretty much in range of all of their stuff, so that's a little worrying. I'll probably take it... I would like attack them to try and then take this to sort of like clear them out and make this area safe. But at the same time, if I'm at that point in the game, then I can probably don't even have to worry about it. I can just just take all of their stuff, and then I don't need the extra colony. Okay, so we're about to take Yadith. I think what I want to do is I want to send the destroyer over here. See, how far are you from Nam? 2 turns? 3 turns to Nam. So I could start sending this now, and then have it link up with the cruiser arriving at the same time. Like this. Basically, I want the destroyer to be here, just in case they try to sneak some ships past while the cruiser is in transit. That's the whole idea there. Okay, that looks good. Then we buy this. We buy this. Ship you over here. Looks good to me. Alright, now that he's in transit, he's not using up any food. Okay. Click. Combat at Yadith. Yes, now I've got some troops, and I can invade. 4 infantry versus nothing. So we just get to take it. And look at that. By invading the colony, we stole the technology for gravity generators. Don't even need to research it now, we just took it by invading. Which is great, because this colony has... I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's already got a gravity generator to counteract the massive gravity. And they've already done the work of building a factory and a generator for me. How nice of them. Now, being cybernetic, in addition to the trait I mentioned earlier where they repair their ships, they also eat production. They eat half food and half production. He's a little weirdo like that. If I build housing, how fast is the population going to grow? I think instead I'm going to want a robo-miner plant, then we'll do housing. So this guy is going to take some time to assimilate. That's why he's in a yellow jumper. He's protesting. He's not happy that he's just been captured by a foreign power, so he's going to be less productive than he would normally be. However, that's not going to take long to convert, and the reason for that, I don't know how much they changed it in the mod, but at least in the base game, it was... being a democracy means that you assimilate captured populations faster. Which, I mean, that just makes sense, right, of course. This, you capture the enemy population, and then they're like, hey, wait a minute, we can vote? Well, shit, that's all you had to say. Alright, forget the old empire that I came from. I'm with you aliens now. Even though they're like half robot and we're like fish, now we get along because of the power of democracy. It's as simple as that. So yeah, we can start sending everything over here. Now, they're going to see that this is unguarded in a second, so they might try and send, once this cruiser enters hyperspace. So they might try and send some ships back over to like, bomb this planet, which is why I'm preemptively sending the destroyer this way, because it should arrive fast enough that they won't be able to actually do anything. Alright, okay, build this transport. Build that transport. Oh, I don't have enough money. Wow. Yeah, you can start to see this is really hard. Yeah, being over the limit by quite a bit. That's cutting my income basically in half. And I've used up most of my reserves buying shit. Yeah, we've got to be more responsible with our spending. Which means, yeah, that's going to take way too long. We'll just stick to housing. Okay, yeah, I think that covers everything. Just going to pass the turn. Scouts arrive. Useless. I mean, this place kind of sucks. Galapagos. Yeah, like the Galapagos Islands. But on the other hand, it's the only planet in the system, and if you look at the background, it's clearly made of dirt. So I think calling it Dirt Ball is more appropriate. It's just a quirky little dirt ball, what can I say? There's honestly not much for this place to do. The population capacity is pretty limited, so just get working on that production, and then we'll get you a nice little biospheres, and then maybe you can make something of yourself. Let's get our food back up. There we go. Okay, that looks all good. You can see here they've got a bunch of stuff. You know, some of these destroyers could have, like... I've had this happen to me too many times, where I send a cruiser, take this planet, then try to move over here, and then the guys that are over here know that they can't beat my cruiser, but then they just enter hyperspace and drive back over here and screw me over. I've had that happen to me too many times. That's why I've got the destroyer to reinforce. And now the cruiser should arrive at the same time as the transport, and we should be able to take Nam relatively easily. In theory, they do have a lot of... Oh, they've got 2 cruisers. Those aren't just destroyers. Okay, they're really building up their forces here. Nam is going to be their sticking point, huh? In that case, it might be good to actually send everything here. But we'll see. A little bit of hit-and-run tactics, if I need to, should be able to do this. Like, it's a cruiser. The Ghostbuster's a whole-ass cruiser. It should be fine. It'll probably be fine. In fact, you can stay here, because 1 troop should be enough, assuming I win. But at this point, if they've got all of their ships gathered up at this spot, it might not be. I'm going to have to, at the very least, do some hit-and-run tactics. If not, bring more ships outright. Which is a little annoying. But I guess that's to be expected. I could cancel this transport and instead build another Wasp. Because I don't need the transports immediately. We're doing alright. We've got 3 of them. What we do need is just more power on the field. And my scout can keep on scouting. Let's have a look at some other places. Alright, here's the big one. It's time to take Nam. And you can look at all that pollution. That's even with the environmentalists, 15. Ooh. Oh no, she's not actually arrived yet. She's 1 turn away. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to take this right away, unfortunately. It looks like one of their cruisers is missing. That's interesting. So we're going to fire all of that at the destroyer, and then the remaining one at the frigate. And then we're going to turn around to try and take some distance so that their beam weapons become less accurate. Which, you can see, that's where I'm taking most of my damage from. Yeah, they took out the armor. And then I'm going to fire everything at the cruiser. And I'm going to run. Alright, that's down. That's down. What about the enemy cruiser? My missiles are just about to hit. Are you serious? And... can I not move? It doesn't say I'm immobilized, but it doesn't let me move here. I'm about to take a bunch of damage, but at the same time, if I retreat now, then these missiles aren't going to hit. Which is kind of lame. Yeah, I guess I've just got to hit done and pray. There we go. That's dead. Alright, now retreat. Okay, we just barely made it. And that's what I mean by hit-and-run tactics. He's automatically going to retreat to this system. And unfortunately, this transport's going to arrive with no support. But we did wipe out everything except that one cruiser that decided to run away. In fact, if they had kept that cruiser there, they might have got me. But nope. Sucks to suck, I guess. Alright, I think we're fine to instead slow things down a bit here and start stockpiling for a bigger ship. In fact, let's get a battleship design. Armored. And here we're going to want battle pods. Oh wait, no, hold on, that's cruiser. Battleship, there we go. ECM jammer, reinforced hull. We're going to split, we can even split our armored into two separate groups. And then we're going to go with the Merculite MIRVs. Got to make sure we can split them up nice and reasonably. Honestly, it's kind of tempting to even actually give more ammo. Although that's probably not necessary. It's probably better to just get more missiles. As you can see, based off the numbers, even 4 of these things is just massive amount of overkill, because they just don't have the defense to survive any of this. Still got 35 points. Yeah, I can't fit anything else here. If I do that, that's what that looks like. There we go. 4 on everything. All of them are 4. The first 2 are armored, the remaining 4 groups are armored. I think that's fine. Take that out to make it a little cheaper. We'll go with this one because it looks silly. Kepler's Pride? Sure, we'll go with that. Oh, that's probably more like an individual ship name rather than a class. Yeah, if it's a ship class, I'm gonna call it, I don't know, Minotaur. Let's go with that. And we'll throw that down. That's gonna take forever, of course. 22 turns, even with all of these guys stacked up. That's just the way battleships are. But they are very powerful. And you can see Ghostbusters got 3, 4, and 4. Look at all of those missiles. On top of being much more durable. Yeah, we're just going to leave it like that. See, who is this? I see a colony ship. Eventide instead of... oh, right, colony base. Yeah, I think it's worthwhile to buy that. And then... instead of stockpile, instead of that, we're going to just throw that in. Yep. Get a Minotaur there. Okay. So we are not actually in contact with these people, but we can see that they're setting up a colony here. Who are the red people? I guess we'll have to find out. Meklar attacks Moneyfish at the Nam system. Yeah, okay, that's the transport arrived and just died. Yep. We want both of those. And that's all we're going to do there for now. And then it looks like housing, yeah, so that's you. Which means now we can just immediately ship that over there. Perfect. Is it really going to... Oh yeah, it's only got 2 production. That's lame. But it is what it is. Eventually we'll have... Eventually once we get it up to like 20 production, maybe. Maybe even 10, then we'll just buy the rest. Although that's a bit difficult during wartime. We'll see. Let's see, report. Yep, no active spies, although they are chewing through the ones that I sent to harass them. No spies. Oh, that is a lot of spies. Okay, well, I'm going to have to fix that in a hot second. Just sending a couple of them. All of those spies should be moved to defense in a second. But unfortunately, this means that I am going to need to build a lot more spies. Which, of course, is my favorite thing to do. I love just spending all my resources on spies. This is a known fact. Of course. Unfortunately, the best way I might do this might be to just start stockpiling for a Minotaur here, and then switch this over to spy production. Not exactly what I want to be doing in the middle of a war, but that's where we're at right now. So what are you guys going to do after you get the atmosphere renewer? Because they've got decent amount of production as it is, with just these guys. Honestly, you guys can also start producing spies. Because hopefully if we just build a bunch of spies right now, then we're gonna have... Then we will stop having to worry about it so much. So what have we got here? Another colony ship. Oh no, it's just this colony ship is leaving? I guess they just changed their mind? Oh, it looks like... Oh, hold on. There it is. No lamb. That's what they are. I said they're, you know, they're red, and I didn't mention... I didn't even read. Because reading is for nerds. Apparently. The Guardian. Okay. Well, there goes my scout. Rest in peace. And now you know why it's called Master of Orion. Because the Orions were here, and now they aren't. But if you manage to kill the Guardian and take their abandoned capital, then you get a bunch of stuff. You get a bunch of super advanced special technology, and the capital itself is basically a perfect planet. It's huge, it's the highest quality of planet, and it's ultra rich. It's everything you could ever want, and more. But you gotta beat this thing first, and this thing is very special. Now there are some strategies to like bum rush it early on in the game, but yeah, we're not exactly planning around that, as you might have noticed. Yeah, let's just send. It's gonna be close. Let me double check. Let's get a... So, yeah, they've reduced the number of spies, but not quite eliminated them. So we're gonna check. We're gonna check their equipment. Yep, they're still just on reinforced hull, which does make their starbase a lot more durable. So I think I am gonna send both of these over. Because I have destroyed most of their fleet at this point, so they shouldn't be able to go take Yadith. In theory. Yeah, and as you can see, the new population growth come in already converted. They're already assimilated. So this guy has been building housing to then grow more Meklar, and then the new Meklar that are grown are already brainwashed. I mean, you know, enlightened into my empire. It's probably messed up if you think about it too much, which is why we're not going to. But yeah, you keep doing that, I guess. You just keep doing that for now. Yes. Or, wait, hold on. I could buy this. Wow. Oh wait, hold on. This is a case where you can see the difference that just a little bit of production makes. Because buying this from 0 costs 240. They're only 10% done, and that brought the cost down from 240 to 180. It's just such a massive difference for so little effort. Yeah, I think I do want to buy it now, though, because your productivity is just so low as it is. And then we'll go straight into housing. I don't think we have enough time to build the robo miner plant. Not realistically. So unfortunately, that does mean my scout is eliminated, but we have found Orion. And if we can safely navigate this conquest of the Mechlons, then we're going to be in a very strong position to take on the rest of the galaxy. Ah, here we are. A little frigate heading over to my dirt ball, which I did say something about being able to defend it easily, but in this case, how am I going to defend this? It's just a little frigate, so I guess I'll just build my own frigate. And hopefully I can just buy this thing, but I did just spend all my money. Thunderbird. That one. I like that one. Yeah, so it can just barely fit a couple of Merved nukes, or Merved and Merculites in this case, and some reinforced hull. And for that, how much is it going to cost? 64. And he is producing 7 a turn. We can almost afford that. 142. By almost afford it, I mean we can't. Unless I make a bunch of extra money this turn, which I might be able to. Instead of spies, let's get some trade goods. See how that affects our income. Plus 108. And then he's going to make a significant amount of progress. That should cut down the cost significantly. But at this point, we really want to make sure that we actually afford this. So both of the spies are going to switch over to trade goods. Plus 135. Yeah, okay. And then we'll switch them back next turn. So you are building housing, and we can ship them over there. Perfect. Click. Combat. What have they got? 1 cruiser and 3 transports. Okay, so once again, they brought in a cruiser to defend. Now, my destroyer here should be able to one-shot their cruiser, honestly. And I'm going to fire all of my cruisers' attacks at their starbase. Done. Done. Okay, that was a little weird. I'm pretty sure we've got them, but just to be sure, I don't know which one I actually want to fire at. Like, this should be overkill for that, so I think I'm going to fire here. Yeah, I was right. It's my gut instincts. No math at all, just instincts. Alright, and then there's still more missiles coming in. So hopefully, they've got 120 left. Hopefully the remaining should be able to finish that. Try to outrun their missiles that they're firing. 240, there we go. Yeah, that's what I like to see. And now between the two of them, that adds up to 11 bomb hits. They've got 7 infantry to our 4. So we're going to bombard this. Halt. Okay, we just wiped out their entire military. Now we can just invade. Completely undefended. This is ours now.
Emperor Chad Starmac, be warned. The Bullrathi Empire has arrived to free the galaxy from the Moneyfish Terror.
No you. Oh good, more of them? There's the Nolams.
Do not provoke the Nolan Empire, Chad Starmackerel. We will attack if you remain too close to our territory. That is rightfully ours.
No you. Alright, you belong to me now. You're my property. Automated factory and then housing. Let's see, yep, the remaining transports are retreating back there. And at this point, I've mostly dealt with their military. Yes. I'm going to buy that so that I actually have a defense against their little frigate. I don't want it bombing my dirt ball into oblivion, because I spent 500 units of production on that colony ship, and watching it go to waste here would be a real shame. You don't really need to be farming, because the productivity here is so much higher, and we've got plenty of freighters. And now we can switch back over from trade goods to spies, because we've got enough credits. Let's see, where's the other trade goods? There's one. Back to over to spies. Go here, report. So they're, yep, they are on the defense. These guys are not bothering us. No bothering us. Nothing as it is. Let's look at equipment. They've got heavy armor, which is the equivalent of reinforced hull, but for armor instead. Class 1 shields, so once again, not super strong offense or defensively. Pretty poor defense, actually. Although they do have ECM jammers, so they got something. They've got long-range fuel cells. That's kind of... Yeah, they've got a decent array of weaponry. But once again, like the others, their defenses leave a lot to be desired. Battle station, fight garrison, planetary missile base. Yeah, we're not going to worry about you guys. Port. How are you guys doing? Yeah, so they've all got iridium fuel cells, which is letting them get around, but none of them have any decent defenses, which is why this is the perfect stage to attack. We've got a huge advantage where we're one-shotting them, but their ships can't quite... They're not quite able to deal with our ships. And yeah, they've pulled back all their spies. But I'm going to stay on the offense. Hopefully, if I get lucky, I might be able to steal something useful, like an antimatter drive. Something. Give me something to work with. It's going to take 3 turns to get there. This is a case where I'm going to leave you behind. Actually, you can... Yeah, I'm going to have both of you sit here and wait, because I want the transport to arrive at the same time as the cruiser. And it does depend on how much defenses they have here. I might need more. We will see in a second. Yeah, this frigate is going to try and annoy me, so I'm going to go kill it. Oh man, it was so close. It was so close. That's a case where if I had... missile speed is affected by your engine technology, so if I had slightly better engine technology, that would have shot it. But alas. Alright, and here we have the High Council. This is just an event that happens every, 100 years or something. Yeah, the start... I don't remember the exact timing of it. But everybody gets to vote on who should be the Galactic Emperor. And the number of votes you get is based off of your population. So looking at everybody we have here, the Sakra, I'm in contact with all of these guys except for the Sakra, who are my competitor here. Like these are my guys. These weird looking. Yeah, they're not. Yeah, this is me. This is my people. I am Chad Star Mackerel. This is what I look like. The Sakra tend to have high population because they have this subterranean trade that massively increases their population capacity on every planet. And then I'm pretty sure they also get a boost to population growth. Something like that. And so they tend to be, when it comes to the Galactic High Council, they tend to be one of the ones that pop up a lot. But on top of that, they just tend to be stronger than most of the other options. Yep. They abstain. They abstain. They abstain. They abstain. They abstain. That's pretty normal. There's not much of a reason to vote for one of the other factions, because if they win, you lose. Right, so they only tend to vote if they're being threatened into it by one of the people on this position, or if if you have a really good relationship, they might do it. Yeah, so they've got twice my population, 10 votes. I only get 5. Yeah, you need it's not just 50%, you actually need 2/3 majority. Alright, so we finished the Thunderbird here. Now we can go back to doing important things, like housing. So where's it retreating to? It's retreating to Hague. Yeah, and I'm just going to have this frigate stay back on defense, and we're going to see how this goes. Actually, I might want to send it out to do some scouting, since I don't have a scout anymore. Check out what's going on with this orange star. But it is a warship, so I'm just going to keep it at home. Speaking of, it might be a good idea to just go down the power tree and start getting, like, antimatter something. Like the ion, I could upgrade my fusion engines to ion drive. Because while antimatter drive sounds really nice, I think for the late game I'm going to want torpedoes. So grabbing antimatter torpedoes would be a good choice. Now you might think that torpedoes are similar to missiles because, you know, that's the, right, like missiles, torpedoes. Wrong. Torpedoes are completely different from missiles. They're just an entirely different weapon category. I think it's because of Star Trek, you know, the whole photon torpedoes, or whatever they've got, the proton torpedoes. I think it's because of Star Trek. So missiles are like, you know, chemical rockets with, like, nuclear warheads and the like. Or torpedoes are like some kind of ball of energy that carries antimatter. And they have unlimited ammo. Alright. See, they've got a colony ship here. Ooh, if I can bag that, that's a good deal for me. Let's see, this grew population, so we can ship that off somewhere else. Wow, wait. Tai Lopez went from like 20 pollution down to 0 between the atmosphere renewer and the leader. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Productivity here is insane. And you can see, this is something that I think is a little unrealistic, is shipping food across the stars. Like, if something goes wrong with a shipment, and you have no infrastructure to build food, to actually produce food locally, you are super duper screwed. And this is something that, like, most sci-fi tries to do. It's like, you have some planets that produce food, and they have to ship it to the other planets. But realistically, I don't think that makes a lot of sense. I think they would have, like, something like hydroponics or aeroponics, where they, if they have to, they could build underground farming facilities where they can actually grow their food, like, locally. Although it would be very expensive, it's probably doable. Well, anyways, that's enough about that. Let's go kill some people. Yes, let's do that. Let's get the automated factory, then the miner plant, then we can get some biospheres. Here we go. Let's see, they've got another starbase and a colony ship and some transports. So this is an easy one. Take a look, still on titanium armor. Basically everything's the same. So we have you fire some missiles, turn around, done. You can fire your missiles, turn around, done. You're gonna take some pot shots at me. Fire your remaining missiles, and then you've got nothing left, so you're gonna retreat because you've got less hull, or less durability. You can fire your remaining missiles, and now you're just going to run, because I do need somebody to stay on the battlefield. Because if we retreat before the missiles hit, then the missiles just stop existing. Done. Yeah, they're taking some shots at long distance, but here comes the missiles. Yeah. Wait, am I bombing civilians? For some reason I thought that they had some military here, but it looks like I was hallucinating. Alright, let's just invade them, because we can take this for free. Once again, they just have nobody defending this place. And we stole the technology for Neutron Blaster. Nice. Yeah, this is mine now. It belongs to me. Let's get that automated factory. Right, and of course this ship is returning. So it's going to arrive at this system, but it's a little late. It's a little late. So now I want to produce more transports because I'm out of those. And I'm going to continue my warpath. Oh, we can't reach? Really? Really? I have to research better fuel cell technology. That's the only way, because this is the closest planet to their systems, and it does not reach. That's ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. So I'm going to have to wait for the auto lab, and then we're going to have to research iridium fuel cells if we actually want to close out this war. And by that point, they might actually have better armor, and that would suck. But at the very least, by that point, I could research the neutron scanner to mitigate, to further reduce any missile evasion they might have. And researching iridium fuel cells is going to miniaturize my Merculites even more. So I am making progress here, even if they do manage to research better armor. But it is going to make things a little more difficult. Although with only these two planets left, or these two systems left, their economy is screwed. I've kind of demolished all of their military. In fact, if we look at the history graph, see population. See, blue is me. So we go up, we're leading here. Then we kind of flatline for a bit because we don't have any room to grow anymore, which lets the Darloks get ahead of us. But then we get another colony. We start growing. You can see where it goes down here. This is when I'm sending my ship, my colonists into freighters and shipping them off. They kind of stop existing for a little bit, and then bam, where it goes sharply up, and now we pass them again. That's because I've got that one housing colony is producing colonists at such an insane rate, and I could just keep doing that because, well, Tai Lopez has got a population capacity of 25, so it can just keep absorbing that population growth. I'm just massively outpacing everyone else, except we have not gotten in contact with the soccer yet, and based off of the votes at the council, they should have about twice as much as what I've got, which is pretty big. If you look at buildings, I've got the most, which makes perfect sense. I'm pretty far ahead in technology, I think. It looks like the Bullrathi are technically a little bit more ahead of me. In fact, I'm not exactly that far ahead, which is interesting. I mean, partly because, of course, the other, like humans are keeping up because they're stealing off of me, leeching my technologies. That's the only reason they're even competitive here. But even though they're at around the same tech level, I'm sitting here with Zortram armor, and everyone else just skipped all of the armor upgrades, I guess, and now they're kind of screwed. Look at fleet. This is just how many command points you're using, which you can see. The Meklar peaked way up here, but because of my technological advantage, they lost all of those engagements, and they have seen a massive decline. Then we get over to buildings. Part of the reason that I can afford more buildings is more so because being a money fish, I don't have to work. Like, maintenance costs are pretty trivial to me. Where for other species, it's a bit more of a like that actually matters. But the maintenance costs are so trivial relative to my actual income. Tribute 0, leaders 1%, spies 6, ships 5%, freighters 9%, buildings 34%. Like, for another species that's making less money, if they were building every single building they get the way that I am, then this would be eating up all of their income. But for me, I can afford to do it. Okay. As much as I would love to go attack them, unfortunately, it looks like the best that I could do. I could make a ship with extended fuel tanks and to go harass them, but that's all it would be able to do, is it would just blockade their systems, which, to be fair, is useful, and actually might be worth doing. Sending something purely to blockade their systems and prevent them from actually building up any forces, while I wait for my opportunity to get some better fuel cells. But man, that is some pretty terrible positioning. The fact that they're 1 parsec out of range. God, that's so awful. Okay. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to live with it, because that is how it is. Yeah, so we're going to switch you guys off of housing now. Robo-miner plant. Cool. How are my spies coming along? Yeah, so they've killed another one of those. It's In fact, let's up our offensive spying a little bit. Let's go a little bit higher. So we've got 3 here, and 5 on defense. And you can see, compared to the early game, we are facing a lot less. They're spying on us. We're losing a lot less technologies to spies, so that's nice. Well, if you actually have active spies, then I'm going to harass you the most. Looks like we need a bit more food production. Yeah, this frigate, again, I think it's just going to run away. My missiles are a little bit too slow. So I would love to get better engines. Yeah. Alright. I think that's where I'm going to call it for today. Yeah, that's a pretty good run. We've got a good start. We've taken 3 colonies, and unlike the real Nam, this was fairly simple. We did have to do a little bit of hit and run tactics to take it, but we did manage to take it. All of the hard work that they invested their resources into those colony ships, we just come along and steal it with a simple transport. Like, that's a huge economic advantage that gives us a massive leg up on the rest of the galaxy. And then if we can finish them off, that not only closes out this threat and makes our back side completely safe, like, taking their homeworld is going to be the big prize, because that's going to be the highest quality planet and the largest population. And if we take all of that, that'll get us up to, at the very least, the level of the Sakra, or more competitive with them. And we should be able to leverage that into a war on another one of our neighbors. Maybe go through this wormhole, take out humanity. And then once we've taken out our second species, that would basically be game over. At that point, our lead will be insurmountable. But that'll all be for next time. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.